Going on, everyone? So yesterday was the finals of the in-season tournament, and it was a great game, right? Both the Indiana Pacers and the Los Angeles Lakers battling it out. There were several moments throughout that game where you really felt like, oh, it could go either way, but for the most part, the Lakers pretty much controlled the game start to finish. Never really let the Pacers get too into it. Their defense was incredible and swarming, but the Pacers are a young team that has a very bright future. And this was great experience, in my opinion, for all the teams involved in the knockout round, at least, especially the Lakers and the Pacers, because these are two teams that are looking to be in the playoffs. The Lakers are looking to be a contender and win an NBA championship. The Pacers, they're looking to upset. I don't believe that they're a real contender or have a chance to win a championship, but I do think that they are good enough to where they could surprise somebody in the right matchup. And both of these teams getting this experience, this playoff level experience in basketball, I think is very important for just the rest of this season, right? Because these games, both teams are taking serious. I mean, this was a game 7 of a playoff series, right? I mean, both teams absolutely wanted this. You saw just the emotions and just the impact from all sides. And that was probably the best thing imaginable for the NBA. I had my reservations about this in-season tournament when it was announced. And I have to say, I eat my words, right? And I'm glad. I'm very thankful because anything that you can do to improve just the excitement and atmosphere of the NBA, I'm all for. I just didn't know how much players and teams and stuff would buy into it. But the fact that the big marquee stars bought into it, I think, was the biggest impact for the Lakers. The fact that LeBron James, who is still the face of the league and the most recognizable guy in all of basketball, for him to say, oh, we're going to go get that, I want that, and then to go do that, I just think is huge for the validation of this tournament. Because now it's like, for many years and generations, all that stuff, as this thing continues to become a thing, right? You have arguably the greatest player ever that basically put the stamp of approval on it and also played well enough to go win it and win the Finals MVP. So it's like, who are you to say that I'm not going to go out there and compete, right? From a player standpoint. So I think that basically all fronts, this was huge for the NBA for the in-season tournament. And then you have like Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and all of the high-profile guys going out there and showing and basically promoting and again, putting that stamp of approval, I thought was very validated for the NBA. And at some point, this is going to be a thing, right? At some point, we're going to be talking about this like we do with other accomplishments for players. Just like how, before certain individuals' accolades were actually a thing, eventually now it's like, well, how many Defensive Player of the Years does he have? How many, scoring titles? How many rebounding titles? Like, all of these little things that we now keep track of and get recognition for that you didn't used to get, the in-season tournament will be that. At some point it'll be like, oh no, Anthony Edwards is better than Luka because Anthony Edwards has, 2 NBA championships, but he has 3 in-season tournaments, and he has, 3 in-season tournament MVPs along with the 2 finals MVPs. And Luka has 3 NBA championships with 3 finals MVPs, but he only has 1 in-season tournament with 1 MVP. So Anthony Edwards has more you get what I'm saying? Like, that's going to be a conversation at some point. It might not be in Anthony Edwards and Luka's time, but 5 years, 10 years from now, whenever, there's going to come a point where the in-season tournament and winning that and getting those MVPs and stuff are going to be part of a player and their history in the league. It just is, right? So the fact that the Lakers and LeBron James won the MVP, the NBA couldn't have had this gone better. This was the best result that the NBA could have had. Because from the Lakers standpoint, right? You have the most recognizable, iconic, popular team in all of the NBA. You have the most decorated team in all of the NBA. And you have the most recognizable, biggest, iconic player currently in the NBA. both of that, going to the finals and then winning that is huge. Whether you're a Laker fan, whether you hate the Lakers, however you feel, right? There's no denying the Lakers' impact on the league and just ratings and views. And when the Lakers win, it is good for the game of basketball. It is. They're a big market. They're Los Angeles. They got the face of the league. They have everything that you could want. This went perfectly, having the Lakers win this in-season tournament, right? You couldn't have scripted it better. And then on top of that, LeBron James winning the MVP, like I said, it gives that stamp of approval. It gives that, recognition, that longevity, because now when people go back and look at oh, man, who was the first? Oh, LeBron won the first, right? Because LeBron cemented forever, right? So this is huge. This was great for the league. And look, would it have been awesome to have a Lakers Celtics or a Lakers Bucks or whatever, one of those things? Then sure. But one, the Lakers are a legit contender. And two, from the other standpoint, you got that surprise team, right? So the Indiana Pacers, they are a team that aren't a real contender. No one, I don't even think Pacer fans think that they're going to win a championship this year, but they're a good, young, fun, exciting team. They are fun to watch, right? And Tyrese Halliburton is emerging into a star in front of us. The Lakers absolutely did everything they could to clamp him up, and he still had a solid game, right? But the whole point of the in-season tournament is this one-and-done style of basketball, right? It's that NCAA tournament, that March Madness type thing. It's all of those factors. And on one side, you have, as I mentioned, the Lakers, who are this high prolific team, who are a real contender, that very well, no one would be shocked if the Lakers won the NBA championship this year. They end up coming out of the West and end up winning the in-season tournament. From the other side of the bracket, you had the underdog go through Boston, go through Milwaukee, make it to the finals, and then lost to the Lakers. That is the perfect way for this to go. Because, and it didn't even have to be Indiana. It could have been anybody. But this was the perfect way for this to go. Because, like I said, high-profile team, iconic team, boom, they win it. Well, now the whole argument is, well, anybody can make it and anybody can win it because it's a single elimination. So if you don't have to be you don't have to be the best team, you just have to be better that night. And you saw Indiana. Did anyone think Indiana would beat a Boston Celtics or Milwaukee Bucks team in a 7-game series? Probably not. I mean, obviously things can happen, but more likely than not, it's not happening, right? Boston and Milwaukee might beat Indiana 9 out of 10 times. But guess what? That one time was in the in-season tournament. And so that's the whole idea, is that everyone needs to compete, everyone needs to play, everyone needs to work their tail off, because you have a chance to get to the finals and win this thing, even if you're not perceived to be a championship contender. Where if it was, say it was Boston and Denver again, yeah, it would have been exciting. People would have loved it. People would have watched it. But it doesn't have that, it doesn't check off all the boxes, right? It's just okay, well, those are the two best teams in basketball right now. And the two best teams in basketball went to the championship in this, and they both won. So, of course, that's probably what's going to happen with the NBA Finals, right? There's what's the difference? What you might as well just make it a 7-game series. If the best teams are just going to win it every year, then what's the point, right? But it's oh no, you got a team that, right now they're on pace to make the playoffs, but last year they were too. And they were now in the finals, right? This was good for basketball. You have a young, electric star that is emerging and coming into his own right before our eyes during that tournament. This, like I said, this just went chef kiss. They couldn't have scripted this in-season tournament better. I'm not one of those people that think everything's scripted and stuff like that, but seriously, if you were ever going to write it, it would be, hey, let's get the Lakers and one of those random teams that can just surprise and shock everybody and come through, right? And then the Lakers win. and boom, right? Because if Indiana would have won, I think, yes, you would have had the same argument that I made, and you would have had the like, oh, well, you can even win this, right? But I think from just like a ratings, a marketing, a future look back standpoint, the Lakers winning was perfect, right? Indiana being in it, especially because both of these teams had played in a finals against each other, not like this current iteration, but the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, Reggie Miller, all that stuff, right? So you had that showdown, and then now you have, like, again, historically them meeting for the in-season tournament. Lakers end up pulling it out as they won that championship. I just think the look back and just the marketing and promotion and everything for this, I think, is just so much bigger now because the Lakers won it. Where if like Indiana would have won it, I think, yes, you could have marketed it and you could have done a lot of the same stuff, but I don't think it would have had as much flair. Because like I mentioned, the Lakers, again, you either love the Lakers or you hate the Lakers. But guess what? You watch the Lakers. You talk about the Lakers. You leave comments about the Lakers. Even if you hate the Lakers, even if you think, oh, it doesn't count, whatever, all that stuff, which is the silliest thing ever. Because if anybody won this, it counts. It's just funny to me that it's always when the Lakers win something, it doesn't count. Or LeBron wins something, it doesn't count. It's just silly. But guess what? You're still running around saying, oh, it doesn't count. You're still running around talking about the Lakers. You're still doing exactly what the NBA wants. It's perfect for the NBA. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think, like, yeah, this was massive for the NBA? Do you think another type of outcome would have been better? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below.